Hi, Analisa 6 here with the Lady of Leisure and the Sober Curator to bring you the November 2023 horoscope for the zodiac sign of Aquarius for sun and rising placements. I am really tired and hitting the end of my rope here, so I apologize in advance if I'm a little jumbled. But hi, Aquarius, I'm ready to get into your horoscope for November, but I'm probably going to try to make this a little brief too. I do a longer video of the entire month in a way deeper breakdown. It's at the beginning of this playlist. It's called the November Astrology Forecast. So if you want more, watch that video. All right, Aquarius, we are deep into Scorpio season. It's actually October 31st, Halloween, the day that I'm recording this video. And we have a stellium in Scorpio that's happening in the area of the Aquarius horoscope that has to do with career. So your career house is highlighted, it's lit up. We have the sun, Mars, Mercury, and Ceres here. Couple things about this that are hard is that Mars and Mercury here could definitely be bringing some communication conflict when it comes to the working environment, which is forcing you to have to learn some heavy lessons about how you advocate for yourself, how you set boundaries, but also how you react to certain challenging situations in the workplace. Those are themes that you've already been experiencing over the last couple weeks since we've been in Scorpio season, but it's a little bit of a story that's continuing throughout November. So if you feel like it's been Mercury retrograde and it's not, part of that has to do with Mars and Mercury being in this area and there being some power dynamics potentially in the workplace that have been hard and tough for you to navigate. Scorpio energy also makes a square to Aquarius, so there's a lot of tension there. Aquarius, I don't want to say Aquarius is people pleasing energy in the sense that I know a lot of Aquarians who are very difficult people that, have no problem going against the grain, because Aquarius, you march to the beat of your own drum. But I will say that Aquarius a lot of times does have a desire to advocate for the group or advocate for, what's happening in the environment, and sometimes can self-sacrifice if they think that that's what needs to happen for the group. That's not always what's needed. And so sometimes you're managing what you think is good for the group versus what's good for you and all of those things. And so those have been themes potentially that you're working through. What's good for me versus what's good for the whole? How do I have boundaries? How do I advocate for myself? How do I deal with the power dynamics at work? How do I, hold all things while also finding my own path in that? Those are themes. Venus starts out the month in Virgo. She's been in Virgo since about the middle of October, kind of beginning of October, and she's finishing up that story by November 7th, where she's going to be moving into her home sign of Libra and where she will stay for the rest of November. So where she's been has been the area that has to do with marriage, shared resources, assets, banks, loans, sex, death, rebirth, all of those themes. And when she's here, she does bless these themes. So we still have this blessing kind of happening for you for another week. And then she moves into her home sign of Libra, where she's going to be highlighting the themes that have to do with values, belief systems, long distance travel, higher education, and learning. So if you've been thinking about starting an educational program, that is supported by Venus here. If you've been thinking about going on a trip, a long distance trip, especially, that is also supported after the 7th. So good time to be doing that stuff. After Venus moves into Libra, Mercury is going to be moving into the sign of Sagittarius on the 8th or on the 9th. And that's also a positive time for you to expand your social circle. So Mercury will be entering the house, leaving the work house and entering the house that has to do with networking, friendship groups, how we're connected to our community. You have a lot of energy for November that's really good for philanthropy and volunteer work. So if you feel like you want to align yourself in your community through doing, any kind of, charity, activism, that kind of stuff that's very in alignment with Aquarius too, that's supported for you. The Sagittarius theme continues when we enter Sagittarius season, which happens on the 23rd. The sun will move into Sagittarius and join that area of the chart that you traditionally rule. It's the 11th house, and enhance your desire to be a part of your community and maybe do work in your community. And then Mars joins the party on the 24th. And Mars here could bring a little bit of tension and conflict. So we might have some drama with some friends or some groups that we might be associated with. But again, it's also a really good time with Venus in this area of the 9th house to do philanthropic work. So again, if you want to volunteer and you want to make yourself useful, doing something that's important to you or getting involved with an organization that's important to you, that's actually a very positive thing for you to do in November. It's very supported. The new moon that we have in November happens on November 13th, and it's happening at 20 degrees of Scorpio, which is that area of the chart that we talked about in regard to your career. Mars is also going to be a part of this story. And so it's really beneficial for you to set intentions towards anything that you want to do when it comes to your career, especially if you want to elevate and take more of a leadership role, or if there's any changes that you want to see in your career, setting intentions towards that is really beneficial for you. November 27th is where we're going to have our full moon in Gemini, and that's happening at 4 degrees of Gemini. So the sun is going to continue to be in that 11th house, highlighting, groups, organizations, friendship circles, networking, all of that stuff. And the moon will be in the opposite area that has to do with self-expression, creativity. And full moons are a great time for releasing, letting things go, also setting intentions, calling things in. So this is a good time to work on your relationship to your creative energy, what makes you feel empowered to express yourself in the way that you want to express yourself, getting in touch with your inner child, joy, happiness, play. All of those things are really positive for you to focus on manifesting. It's also really positive for you to focus on letting go or releasing things that get in the way of joy or you connecting to your inner child in that way. So if there's any healing work that you need to do around that, where you feel like you've been taking life too seriously, this is a positive time to release that seriousness and work on creating more joy in your life. All right, Aquarius, I'm going to keep it real short and leave you there. I think that's good. If you liked this video, let me know by hitting the like, subscribe button. I post these every month, and I always look forward to hearing if your horoscope resonated for you after the month is over. You can follow me at theladyofleisure.com and thesobercurator.com, and I will see you all in December.